Thought maybe I'd do tonight's live stream as Boy George. Nah, I like Guido Sarducci better. We'll go this way. All right. Happy Saturday night. Let's see if we got a 5x. Look at that. Tim, 5x5 quick. Look at that. I haven't even got my screen up yet. So here comes mine. There I can see me. Finley the dog is in second place tonight. Robert Lorna, 5x5. Okay. So if you missed my joke, sorry. I had to start off with something funny. Good evening, everybody. Happy Saturday night. I hope it was a beautiful day for y'all. It was gorgeous here this afternoon, a little bit of rain this morning, and I was not going to complain with that after putting out all this seed here in the last few days and more of it. I think what Mrs. P and I got 38 bales of straw put out so far, and God knows a lot more that has to go. So, but that's hardly the point to what's going on here. So let's kind of get into some of the interesting things that have happened here. So we all know about the baby food shortage, right? I guess Nancy Pelosi kind of forgot about it because, rather than working with distributors and companies about making baby food, I kid you not, she spent her time in the last few days negotiating a deal with Peloton so that the House members could have free gym memberships. And this one shouldn't surprise anybody. Negotiated with a service company to open a liquor store specifically for members of the House. Yes, Vodka Skeletor is at it again, okay? God knows she wants to have a liquor store in the House of Representatives, specifically for them, which, oh, by the way, they can spend campaign contributions on buying booze and can buy in bulk. Yeah. So Nancy's idea is to get all of Congress drunk. God. I'm not kidding, guys. All right. So in other fun stuff, let's talk about polar opposites in states here. All right, let's start with Texas. Texas, you guys know you're going through a heat wave, and you were supposed to have triple-digit temperatures here this coming week. And oh, by the way, ERCOT is already panicking because you already had 6 plants go offline tonight, and they're already asking customers to cut back on their electricity. They don't want you to set your thermostats below 82 degrees. They don't want you to run your dishwasher, your washing machine, anything of the sort like that, because supposedly the power drain that they're expecting here is going to be worse than it was when they had the power outages for the heat, or, asking, for when in the wintertime last year when it was cold. All right. So Texans, do something to prepare now to keep yourself cool here next week. And on the other side of the fence, let's go to California, okay? Because, that rocket scientist that we have as a governor in California, Gavin Newsom, came up with a brilliant idea today. He's proposing an $18 billion relief package to offset inflation for residents of California, okay? So what he wants to do is give $11.5 billion giveaway, $400 checks for every registered vehicle in the state of California. Okay, $2.7 billion for emergency rental assistance, $1.4 billion to pay off people's past due electric bills, $750 million for free public transportation, a $439 million diesel tax rebate. That one I'm not necessarily going to disagree with, okay? And $157 million to waive preschool and childcare fees. So, the reason we have this inflation there, Gavin, is because of all the freaking giveaways. All you're doing, I won't even say kicking the can down the road. You're kicking the can up the hill and making inflation in the future in California even worse. So, Californians, please get the hell out of that state, okay? Unless you speak Spanish, I don't know why you live there anyway, but beside the point. And then, of course, the last one, which we always have to end on the negative note, if you saw it today, and this one will be all over the news, I guarantee it, is there was a shooter that went into a grocery store up in Buffalo, New York today that decided that it was time to kill a bunch of people. And the reason I say this one will certainly be on the news because it was a white shooter in a black neighborhood. And so 10 people died. And guaranteed they will make this all about race. Not that I'm saying it wasn't, okay? Because stories supposedly say this guy had racial slurs written on his rifle or whatever it would be, okay? But you know damn well what they're going to do is they're going to try to paint every single person in this country with the paintbrush of this one guy. Are there crazy white people out there that are completely racist? Yup. Okay. Just like there are crazy Hispanics, Asians, blacks, whatever it is, that are extremely racist too. We know that. Joy Reid is a perfect example. But, okay, does he represent me? No. Okay, sorry. But just be ready for the onslaught that we're going to see this week, where you're going to have all the gun grabbers come out and say, we need to take away guns from all white people again. Yep, you know it's coming. So, all right, so there's your latest headlines for Saturday night. Fun stuff. But so let's get into the meat and potatoes of this evening. Kind of go through the rules real briefly here. Guys, we are a family in this place. Keep it clean, keep it friendly, keep it polite to each other. Disagreement is totally acceptable. I have no problem with that whatsoever. A lot of times I put up videos that are very disagreeable. Let's leave it that way. Conversation works two ways. I'm good with that. As long as you are not rude to the other person, in all due respect is a good way to start things. Effing idiot is not. Let's do that. Okay. Please get your point out. I totally respect anybody who has a contrary point of view, as long as they do it politely and don't go into the "you're a racist" crap. Okay. Because I'm not. And I don't think anybody else in here is either. But keep it polite, keep it PG-13 in the comments, all right? Stay away from the YouTube topics that they don't like. We're not going to talk about 2,000 mules. We're not going to talk about the latest crap with COVID in North Korea. Yes, those things are happening. No, YouTube refuses to acknowledge that they exist. So, I'm sorry. I can talk 95% of the truth, but not all of it, because they won't let me talk about some of the subjects without shutting us down. So we just don't. But keep it polite, keep it everything there. All right. In regards to Q&A tonight, like every other channel on YouTube, please, if you got questions for me, put them in all caps. Feel free to have conversations amongst yourselves in lowercase. Just if you have a question for me, I don't even look at the lowercase stuff. I just fly through going through the all cap stuff. I will say this. Thank you to my moderators between Jacob, Robert, North Shore, Lucky Dame, and Lorna for coming again and keeping the riffraff out of here. It's because of them that we do have a fun place to go on a Saturday night and have a little bit of fellowship and camaraderie, okay? Because all the trolls that we know like to get in here every once in a while don't last long because of these five guys. So thank you to all of them. All right, let's get into it here. And good, actually, I made it by 9:08. So good, we have 52 minutes to go on this. So let me get to the top and see what y'all want to talk about. S. Palmer, what is the name of the website y'all made about a year ago? Is it still active? It's called freedomgathering.org, and yes, it is still active. Matthew Trucking, hello everyone from Houston. Today I saw 2 container ships loaded heading into the port area. I'm going to discuss a little bit more on that here in the next couple of days. Just keep an eye on that sort of stuff. Monkey Works and the stuff he talks about the shipping is very important to watch right now. Air traffic, I'm not so concerned about. Shipping, I am. Let's see. Pelosi will be the biggest customer. Hell, she owns the place. High Flyer 131, why supply baby formula when the Democrats want to abort babies? That's the truth. The stupid part about all of this is apparently the administration was told about the upcoming shortage back in February. And their solution was to send a bunch of baby formula to Ukraine, knowing we had a shortage. So this is blatantly, obviously, the administration saying, screw the American public. We want to go pay off some hunters' debts. Okay, that's, yeah, okay. You don't, nobody's taking food out of my refrigerator to give to somebody else, but that's literally what Joe did. But Joe took food out of babies' mouths in the United States to give it to a country who is not even an ally. Just want you to think about that. Becky Reed, if you get caught drinking on the job, don't you get fired? The hell, Nancy Pelosi's been in Congress for what, 50 years? I mean, Christ, she stands up on a podium with a bottle of vodka in her hand, doesn't she? I mean, that woman hasn't seen a sober day since age 17. Okay, let's see. Drunk Congress could do worse. No, I don't think we could do a whole lot worse than what Congress is doing. Let's see. Kim, Newsom is just buying votes. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. It's stupid people. I mean, yes, there are a lot of people who don't understand how the economy works. They just go, "Oh my God, prices are up. They must be gouging me." No, the prices are up because you need to learn economics 101. I'm sorry you dropped out of school in 6th grade and didn't learn how to do something. Okay, but it's pretty, supply and demand is not a PhD program. Okay, it's about 8th grade economics. You know, you learn that pretty quick. But the people that don't understand it, that's exactly who Newsom's going after. Don Glossinger, did I see Bill Gates is making biomilk, bioengineered breast milk? Does that surprise anybody? Bill Gates has a solution for everything. The only question is, what are the side effects there, Bill? Have you figured that part out yet? Oh, yeah, that's right. That wasn't important to you. Okay, Deanne Cummings, why do people have a wrench next to their name? That's because they are moderators. Joan S., trapped in California at the moment and looking to move. Gruesome Newsom. Yeah, I feel for everybody who lives in California. I mean, I went to the only time I lived in California was when I was in language school in the Army, and Monterey was beautiful. Don't get me wrong. And my hope, I mean, mind you, this was in the mid 80s. Okay, my hope was, gee, after I got out of the Army, I would go to LA and I wanted to go to UCLA. Okay, then of course I wound up stationed in Texas and realized how inexpensive it was to go to college in Texas as opposed to college in California. And so I stayed in Texas, went to school there. But yeah, California used to be an absolutely gorgeous state. Now it is, to quote Donald Trump, a shithole. Let's see. Treasure Seekers SOJ. I'm waiting for the states to split, then I'll be in the state to split, then I'll be in the state of Jefferson. That would probably be the best thing that happens to California if California did split into 3 states. Though the only problem is then that opens up the can of worms, because then you're going to have Texas wanting to split, and you know, then all of a sudden we're the United States of 842 different states, and it's like, you know, okay, I want to go over to my neighbor's house and I've got to go through 3 different states to get there. That, yeah, I understand why. Personally, I'd just rather have California become a completely separate country and say, get out of here, you cost the rest of us too much money. But that's just me. Let's see. NJ Marie, all the left talks about is race. This is the result. Yeah, I mean, that's it. They don't have an answer for anything else. So, you know, oh my God, you know, it rained today. It must be racism. You know, the weather is racist. I swear, if I got online and spent 5 minutes looking, I bet you I could find something that says the weather is racist. Okay. Dobby Farrar. I had the cops called on me yesterday because I had my gun on me when I went to the grocery store. Okay. I don't know what state you're in, but, you know, depending on the state, some states are constitutional carry, some states are open carry, some states you need a open carry license, but call the cops. That's fine. Yeah, I walk around everywhere I go. Call the cops. I don't care. Here you go. Constitutional carry state, and I got my CCW. I really don't give a shit if somebody's afraid. Tough. That's their problem. They can go to a different store. Not me. I'm going to use my constitutional rights. They can take their liberal rights and stick it where the sun don't shine. I don't care about their feelings. Have a nice day. Kathy Little, here's a novel idea. Cut gas taxes to no more than 5% maximum per gallon. Well, that would still be 5 times the profit that the oil companies are making, because as I explained yesterday, the oil company profit is about 1% of the cost of a gallon of gas right now. So, yeah, the government combined between state and federal, if they made 5%, they'd still be doing pretty good. I got an idea. When you're going to take the gas taxes, why don't you do what they're supposed to be done with them? Like, oh, I don't know, fix the roads and fix the bridges. We need an infrastructure bill for that, right? Where is all the gas tax money being spent? It's supposed to be spent on the roads. There's a lot of gas tax money being paid. Where's it going, Nancy? Gordon Hemping, 3 more weeks and we're out of California. Congratulations. I'd love to see California have 6 electoral votes and the whole Democratic Party going, what the hell happened? Or I don't know how to say what the hell happened in Spanish, but that would be the only way. You know, it's like, oh, I'm sorry, you don't have any citizens to vote anymore. Not my problem. Star Fury, still here, Sergeant. Good, okay. Formation will be released in 44 minutes. Let's see. Voodoo Queen. Missouri Senate just passed a gas tax. Gee, because that's what we need. Let's add more taxes to the $4 and God knows how many cents change. I'm telling you guys, wait. I said at the beginning of the year, $5 gallon of gas. I'm still sticking to that. I'm 50 cents away. And yes, no, that wasn't the crystal ball. That was some dumb guy in Tennessee just thinking, okay, this is what I think is going to happen. So just kind of fun to go, okay, what do you think is going to happen this year and see if you're right. You know, I think what did I say, 6-3 or 5-4 last year, better than 50%. Okay. So I can flip a coin and do that too. Let's see. Okay. We shot to the bottom. Let's see. Where are we? All right. Debbie Minton, with all my beautiful gardens, what is your means of watering them? Well, at the moment, it is a sprinkler and a hose that I'm dragging all over the yard, okay, which is 300 feet of hose, which is always fun. The part of the pond idea was I've got a pump for it, to pump the water from the pond once I've got fish in it, and I will have fish emulsion in there, and it'll make very good fertilizer. So to pump from the pond into watering the garden. So that is the other idea. But yes, it is dragging a hose around and watering gardens. And right now, there's a whole lot of dragging hose around, trying to put grass around the pond and everywhere like this, so I don't have all the erosion problems. So yeah, as we're spreading grass seed and spreading straw, and moving sprinklers all over the place. Thank God we're on a well, because I would not want to be paying my water bill if I was on city water this month. Jeffrey Lindquist, what is my opinion on buying silver by the kilo versus ounces? Go for it. Okay, if you can afford a kilo of silver, go for it. The only thing I will say is this, is don't do it all that way. Yes, you're going to get a better price buying it by the kilo than by the ounce. And as an inflationary hedge and everything like that, yes, I know, don't anybody tell me silver's down to $20 and it's falling with the market. Yes, I get it. Okay. Long term, I'm not, precious metals are not a trade, it's an investment. Okay. But if we ever get to a point of needing coinage, silver, precious metals for currency, a kilo is going to be a lot harder to use than coin. Would I get if you can afford to, could you get some? Sure. Would I still get coins? Yes. Okay. And again, the reason I like silver over gold is because silver is in smaller denominations. And yes, I know you can get grams of gold, but I mean, how easy is it to lose something that's that big? Pretty simple. A Cushnet prepper just went from winter to summer in the last 2 days, 82 degrees today. Fortunately for us, we've had a nice spring, okay? 60s and 70s, low 80s, everything like that. But yeah, when you go from, we had the time too when we went from, you know, freezing at night to, there were plenty of days, and this isn't anything strange for most of us, but have the heater on at night and the air conditioner on at the day, that happens for a couple of weeks. Sean Stanislawski, gasoline is the byproduct of diesel, kerosene, and heating oil. Question: Nikola Tesla was known for making unlimited electricity. It was theoretical. It was never put into proven. Theoretically, yes, okay, but physically it couldn't be done. Okay, so. But yeah, no, Nikola Tesla had very many good ideas about power. And yes, I know diesel is the byproduct of gasoline. You got that part backwards. They want Don Glossinger, they want everybody to buy the bio milk. No, sorry, not happening. Not eating bugs, not eating bio milk. Sorry, non-GMO, no, I'm not eating your chemicals. I don't worry about organic crap and everything like that. Like I've said a million times, it's just the guy in the back going organic, non-organic out of the same box. Okay, it's all a scam. Okay, but I'm not buying bioengineered stuff if I know better. Jan Myers, have I seen that the 101st is going to Poland? No, I have not. Okay, going to Poland is a whole lot different than going to Ukraine, though. So. Cotton balls. Hey, Pinball, I used in-ground used soil to start my seed in. Please rewrite this. I can't, and punctuate it somehow. I can't understand what you're trying to say there. Rooster, never look at vodka Skeletor a half an hour before or after you eat. Ain't that the truth? Nancy, Dobby Farrar. Nancy Pelosi's baby formula was gin and tonic. Nice, I like that. David Green, what kind of coffee do you drink on all your early mornings, and how are your coffee preps coming? I just drink basic coffee. I think what I've got right now is Walmart brand coffee in there. I make a couple of cups of coffee in the morning. It's not that I'm not into all this frappuccino, cappuccino crap. I mean, Army wise, I drink my coffee black. That is it. No cream, no sugar. I mean, when you were in the Army, you were happy to get a cup of coffee. You weren't going to start bitching about cream and sugar with it. Okay. I just got used to drinking black coffee. As long as I can taste the coffee in it, I'm good. Sometimes I'll drink decaf. Sometimes I'll drink regular. Blood pressure. Okay. But I usually 2 cups of coffee in the morning, and that's about it. Nothing fancy, anything. And when I see coffee on sale, I just add more, and I've probably got half a dozen cans of coffee in our pantry, ready to go. So that 2 cups of coffee in my little Hamilton Beach cup, coffee maker or whatever it is, probably 2 years worth of coffee. So I'm okay. Is Biden a Manchurian candidate? Biden's a puppet. I mean, that's it. North Shore, Bill Gates couldn't cure a computer virus. Bill Gates is a virus. Randy Ward, next step, UBI California will be the test. Yeah, there's places that have already tried it, $1,000 a month or whatever it is. I'm thinking to myself, $1,000 a month in California. The hell is that going to buy? $1,000 a month might buy you groceries. Sure as hell ain't going to pay you rent. I mean, universal basic income. The $1,000 a month that they talk about is universal basic poverty. Big deal. Let's see. The Ape Man, how do I trim my beard? I don't. I stop the barbers from doing it because I'm trying to let it grow and they keep, "Nyeh," and I'm like, no, I don't want you to do that. Okay, let's see. Wolfsbane Hollow, formula recipe from the 60s, 13 ounces of evaporated milk, 20 ounces of water, and 2 tablespoons of Caro syrup. This is what I was fed, also used for my son. I'm kicking at 65, so it worked. Yeah, I mean, and I'll agree here with this. I mean, somebody sent me an email a couple of times saying if you go on Amazon, you can find baby formula on Amazon. Okay, and I'm sure you can, and probably on Walmart.com and everything like that too. It's just think of the age that most people are having kids, 20s, okay? And if not earlier. And they're not actually known for thinking too far ahead. So it's like, oh crap, this is the last scoop of Enfamil. I need to run to the store and go get more. They can't wait 2 to 3 days for shipping. That's the problem. They don't think. It's like, oh gee, I have only 1 can left. Maybe I need to order more now. So, we were all 21, so we all remember how irresponsible we were then. We've grown up a little bit. Jay Myers, give California back to Mexico. Well, they're taking it. We don't have to give it to them. Let's see. Hazel Shelton, how bad do you think it'll get and how quick? There's such a loaded question because there's so many things that can go on. I mean, economically, militarily, food-wise. I mean, God knows. All I know is this is going to be a freaking ugly summer. There's no question about that. Everything's going to get more expensive. Food's going to get more scarce, and pray to God we aren't in a war. Grammy Lauren, pinball, can you describe, I believe it's called volting an onion. I'm thinking you're talking about bolting. And bolting is when a plant goes to seed. It's starting to try to reproduce. And an onion, what you'll see is a long stem come up the middle that kind of like has a spade-shaped head on the top of it. If you see one of those, cut that thing off immediately because the onion will be spending all its time trying to produce seed and none of its energy trying to produce that bulb that you're after. If you see that seed pod, clip that thing quick. Okay. But every plant will bolt. That's basically when it goes to flower and goes to seed. And at that point, it's not spending any time or any effort, any energy whatsoever on making fruit. It's trying to reproduce. Cindy Rice, pinball, doesn't Texas have the split ability in their constitution? Texans will tell you yes, legal scholars will tell you no. Yeah, Texas loves to say they can walk away from the United States anytime they want. No, they can't, but I'm not going to get into that because all it does is start an argument every time we talk about it. Let's see. Mike Reagan's UK side. I saw this yesterday. UK judge says making fun of bald people is sexual harassment. Yes, I saw that. So I want to know, does that include Ayanna Presley or Will Smith's wife? They didn't think about that part. They're bald women too. So, gee, should Chris Rock get hit with sexual harassment charges? Let's see. That'll never happen, by the way, because liberals, it's only sexual harassment when it's a conservative doing it. Let's see. Oops. And there we go. The shot to the bottom thing. Kit Carlson, hello everyone. Garden died. Doing it again. Try again. I'm going to take a guess, probably from the cold. That can certainly do it. The heat you can get around, but the cold is that one most of the time you can't. Let's see. Guy, open carry is dumb to begin with. If it's your only choice, it's better than nothing. But I'll agree with you. I'd rather be concealed any day of the week than open carry. But I'd rather have open carry than be restricted from carrying at all. It's just my hierarchy. Scuba Steve, have I heard anything about the 6 power plants in Texas that are down? Yeah, I talked about that at the top of the show. Uh, Portuguese Prepper, is your pond deep enough? Look shallow for fish. It's about 5.5, 6 feet at the deep end, about 3 feet at the shallow end. Should be plenty deep here. TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority, says that you need 18 inches to survive a winter for a pond here. So I'm in good shape. Montana Grizz fan, to make the diesel situation worse, many refineries are either going through or about to go through turnaround when inspection, maintenance, and repair occurs. Yeah, not only for that, and we're also going to switch over to summer blend gas. So that'll be, let's make it even worse. Sandra Mateus in Northwest Indiana, gas is $4.72 a gallon. It's probably some of the Chicago effect, is my guess. I mean, I remember when I was living in Chicago and we'd go to Fort Wayne to visit my ex's family, and we knew it was like, all right, as soon as we get to Indiana, we're filling the tank, and as soon as we came back home, before we crossed the state line, tank again, because gas was cheaper in Indiana, but it was still more expensive than Fort Wayne was. Janet, we the people. My trucker friend said a Love's truck stop was near empty last night. I'm assuming you mean on fuel, and that doesn't surprise me, as after the notifications that have gone out from all the trucking companies to their drivers saying, fill up every evening. Hazel Shelton, they need to spend money on the power grid. Yeah, okay, but here's the question. Where do you start? I mean, our power grid is still held together with spit and sealing wax, okay? Duct tape and coat hangers. This is the problem. All the talk about Iran and the EMP, I mean, our electric grid is archaic, and we have done nothing to upgrade it, let alone harden it, in over 50 years. So, they just keep putting bandages on it. I mean, the electric grid's gonna go. Whether it's an EMP, whether it's a bad spat of hot weather or whatever it is, something's gonna fry it. And, y'all just need to be ready. It's probably gonna be something real simple, and it's gonna fry half the grid. But there's gonna be a whole bunch of people who are gonna be up shit creek without a paddle. And there's gonna be a bunch of us who go, okay, honey, get the generators, flip it over, let's go back to life. I know which side I'd rather be on. Let's see. Sue Mullenix, for a makeshift solar oven, do you put the silver lining aluminum foil on the inside as well as the outside? You put it on the inside. You don't need it on the outside, because your solar oven, your flaps are going to be like this to catch the sun. The outside is facing the ground. You're not going to get anything there. You just need it on the inside. Rister Cogburn, hey Pinball, try installing frost-free water hydrants, $90 each, in various locations on your property connected to your well pressure tank. Ours runs to hydrants at about 1,000 foot long. I don't have to worry about that far because my property isn't that big. I mean, it's only 3 acres. It's 300 by 400. So I've got a 300-foot hose that'll get me anywhere on the property, because the main water spigot is kind of in the center. So, but yeah, it still sucks dragging a hose around. Let's see. Morning Light, is there any way of finding out where the gas tax collection goes? Ask your congressman. They should be able to tell you. Your state congressman, for your state taxes. Dan, Atlas Shrugged should be required reading now more than ever. There's a whole bunch that should be required reading. Atlas Shrugged, 1984, 1 Second After. Those should all be. I mean, there's inevitably dozens more. Those are just ones off the top of my head. But then again, I'd say Huckleberry Finn should, The Grapes of Wrath should. But any book that should be required reading is pretty much banned from the schools now because, oh my God, liberals are offended. Grace Acres, is it too late to plant beets? I'm in Ohio, zone 6. I'd still give it a shot. I reseeded my beets a couple of weeks ago for the ones that didn't come up the first time. I'd give it a shot. You may not get as big of beets, and you'll be certainly waiting till fall to harvest. But I'd give it a shot. Josh Launder, Pinball, what type of grain should we be stocking for preps? Wheat berries, other. Okay, wheat berries, sure. I'd also get ground flour if you can. Cornmeal, if you can get cracked corn, which is not bad. You can usually get, I got mine at the co-op, farm store. I can still crack it and make cornbread out of it or whatever it is. Oats, definitely something, oatmeal, just, oats like that. You can make oat bread. You can make oat milk out of oats. Again, you're talking about any grains are useful. You can make cornbread. You can make oat bread. You can make wheat bread. Whatever would be. Those are going to be, any sort of grains are relatively inexpensive and easy to store. Mylar bag in a 5-gallon bucket ain't that difficult. Okay, no prep time, no 90 minutes waiting for it to go through a pressure cooker. Dump, seal, iron, and close. And cap it off. You're done. Add more to it. But yeah, any grains are going to be good. And the reason I'll say grains are good, most of us do not have the ability to raise our own. Okay. It takes a whole lot of land to raise wheat or to raise oats or something like that. So you're better off buying it and using your land to buy something that is, easier to harvest, if you will. Jay Myers, think we're going to get pulled into this war before the end of the year? Well, we got pulled into this war before the end of summer. There's pretty much no question about that. The liberals want the war because they're going into an election, and so they got to say, you can't change now, we're in a war and everything. Before election time, we'll be in a war. The Chad, instead of planting this weekend, I'm rebuilding the chicken coop that was completely destroyed in the storms that rolled through South Dakota and Minnesota on Thursday. All 25 chickens survived. Debris spread over 500,000. Man, I'm sorry to hear that, brother. Fortunately, it destroyed the chicken coop and not destroyed your house. I will, look at the bright side of things there. We all have our personal SHTFs. I'd rather have to rebuild the chicken coop than have to rebuild my house. So, Sue Benton, can a solar battery charge a chest freezer in Michigan? Depending on the size of the solar battery, sure. The 1300s that I've got, the EcoFlow Delta 1300s, I can run my freezers. I run both of them on one EcoFlow, and they run about 14, 15 hours on it, before I have to put a new one on there and go charge the other one. So yeah, no problem. Now if you go out and buy one of the little 200-watt ones or whatever it is, probably not. But you've got to have the right size for the use. It's no different than, you can't run your big Maglite flashlight off of AAA batteries. Okay, wrong size battery for the use. Same thing with your freezer. You need a bigger battery than to run the freezer. If you got a 200-watt solar generator or whatever it is, that might run a lamp and charge your phone and run your computer, but that's about it. So, you got to know what you need in the way of wattage out of your freezer to find the appropriate solar generator. The Cushnet Predator, coffee is starter fluid. Yes, many times I have said, do not talk to me in the morning until I've had my first cup of coffee. You won't like me. Vicinal Victor, am I familiar with ram pumps? And if so, could you make one work in your gardens? No, I'm not. So I'm not going to be able to answer the second part of the question. Justin Mickle, what was my language at DLI? Oblivion Chesky. So back in the 80s when the Cold War was still going on, yes, I learned to speak Czech. PA 5x5, did I see Randy Weaver died this week? I'm not sure who Randy Weaver is, so yeah. Peace Hawk, can you add a manual hand pump to an existing well? Sure. Not a problem there. Depends on the depth of the well, and you may have to have it done professionally, but mine to 330 feet. I'm not doing that by myself, but yes, it can be done. Carol Lewis, weird stuff happening at Detroit Metro. 2 days ago, prop plane circling 5 times right over Metro runway, and this never happens. There could have been no runway to land on. There, whatever would be, plane could have been in trouble, whatever would be. Give you a weird stuff happening though. Mrs. P and I were out in the yard yesterday, and 2 Blackhawks went over. I heard them coming in. I looked up. I'm like, and they were low. I'm like, holy shit, those are Blackhawks. Now mind you, it was a Friday, so it was a late Friday afternoon, so it could be the reservists on Mod 5. But I don't think it was that. It was like 4 o'clock, so it'd be a little early for a Mod 5. But the closest military bases to me would either be Fort Knox or Fort Campbell. Those aren't close. There's an Air Force base in Nashville, but these were Army Blackhawks. So that was just interesting. I don't know why. Scrolling. Grickles, isn't Buffalo going to make this summer uglier potentially? I don't understand the question. Buffalo, New York, or Buffalo the animal, and I don't see how either one of them would make this summer uglier. Scott Langoff, with 2 mass shootings in as many days, real ugly. Remember the 574 riots in 2020? Yeah. Whoops. There we go. Shut to the bottom again. Let's see. Where are we? Kid Carlson, my garden died from heat and not enough nutrients. Yeah, in the heat, you're going to need to be watering and watering and watering. And the other thing you might want to do is put up some shade cloth, okay, to keep the direct sun off of them. Shade cloth isn't that expensive, and you can just run it over, either make a hoop out of some PVC, or you can make like a canopy out of 4 sticks and put it over. It doesn't have to look pretty. You're just trying to put some shade on those plants. Mountain Woodsy, I said 2 years ago Bill was making roach milk, not the bugs, roaches. Give me the willies. Yeah, Bill's. The world will be a better place when Bill Gates is being eaten by the roaches. Mr. Prepper, I dated your mom. Mr. Pinball, do I have a drone? And if so, what is the name and model of it? I have one, and I can't tell you what it is. It's just a little one. I'll try to remember to bring it out of the closet here one time so you guys can see it. One of these days, one of the things I want to do is shoot a video from it. I just never get around to it. Anonymous Prepper saying to Kit Carlson, if you got the room, get a pen of rabbits. The manure can be directly sown on the soil without burning the plant roots. Yes, that is true. Full Moon, what is summer blend gas? It's a little higher in ethanol for a little less pollution. West Wyoming Yeti, went to the local coffee shop. Elderly lady had her holster on her walker. Good woman. There you go. Grandma, you can come to my house anytime you want. As long as you know how to use it, I'm happy. Hobby Garden for Health. What do I think are the best shortwave hand radios walkies are? There isn't a good way to answer that, okay? Because every area is different, okay? Where I am in the mountains is going to be very different than if you're in a city or if you're in, I don't know, the the desert of Nevada where it's, flat for miles and miles and miles. I've got walkie-talkies, I've got two-way radios, I've got CB. It all depends on, where you are and what you're going to do. Am I going to pick anything up in the way of chatter from anywhere where I am? No. Okay. The only way I'm going to get any sort of outside news is if I pick up the skip on the CB. That's it. I've done that before. I've picked up Hawaii. I've picked up Jamaica. So that's possible, but that's not, you can't rely on that. Walkie-talkies here are good for maybe a mile. That's about it. Two-way radios, good for maybe about a mile. Just because there's too many trees, too many mountains, too much terrain that is going to interfere with a direct line signal. So I can't tell you what the best ones are because that's going to be different for everybody's situation, location, whatever it would be. Grickles, yet they want high-speed trains. Yeah. Right. Okay. Running on what? Diesel fuel? Michelle H. Will martial law be declared if we're hit with an EMP? That's if the government's even still functioning. Okay. At that point, they could. If we're hit with an EMP, it's natural law at this point. Okay. There is no martial law because there's, again, no way to enforce it. Sure, they may establish martial law in Washington, D.C. or in New York City or something like that. But in Paducah, Kentucky, no. I mean, what? Both cops and the mayor are going to be out patrolling the street? It's not going to happen. So, sure, you may have martial law in some of the bigger cities, but out in the country, it's survival of the fittest at that point. Let's see. Darlene Carter, calf got into the garden and ate the corn. Will it come back or will I have to replant? Don't know if they just chomped level to the ground or pulped up. It's about 6 inches tall. I'd replant it. Yeah, that's not going to come back. I would definitely replant. Golden Leopard 1, Biden handing over the U.S. sovereignty to the WHO. Look it up. We talked about this a few days ago with the whole pandemic treaty and everything like that. It's all great. It's all politics. It's all, they can sign whatever they want. Good luck freaking enforcing it on a worldwide basis. Ain't happening. Okay. They're not handing over the U.S. sovereignty. I'm sorry, the Constitution still is the law of the land. Biden does not have the authority to give the country away. So, yeah, there's a lot of fear porn and a lot of exaggeration put on this whole treaty. It's just for medical pandemic deals. It's not, oh my God, they're giving the UN police the rules, and the WHO can't do it. The WHO is not a entity that has any authority. Even if every country says, yes, the WHO can say that the world is going into lockdown immediately. You think 9 billion people are going to go, oh, okay, because I ain't. Anonymous Prepper, have I seen any honeybees around your parts? Have yet to see one here. I have not seen honeybees. God knows I've seen the carpenter bees. Fortunately, the carpenter bee trap that you guys, that one of y'all sent me, I think we caught our 5th or 6th one in it today. So that was a good deal. Joan S., do you have any suggestions for dealing with gophers while owning a dog? Let the dog go after them, Daffy goes after anything that's running around the yard. She was chasing birds yesterday, squirrels, chipmunks. If there's something on the ground that's her territory, she's after it. Okay. So, don't call the dog off. Encourage the dog to go after it, because eventually those critters will disappear. They're like, I ain't chancing this. Warren Isham, 1 second after, awesome book, and the follow-on 2 books. Yeah, the first one was the best. The last one was the worst, but the first one, if you've never read it, it'll open your eyes real fast. Okay, Gephardt, sorry, just started streaming pinballs at his boy George joke. Yes. There you go. Laura K, I read somewhere that Brussels sprouts can grow in the snow. Is that right? They're cold weather crops. So yeah, I mean, again, light snow. It's not going to be, oh my God, we just had a blizzard. It's 1978 and I'm out in the middle of the backyard, hubby's out shoveling the driveway and I'm planting Brussels sprouts. No, it's not going to happen like that. But if you have, a light snow, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower, those will handle temperatures down to about 28 degrees. Nutty Home Homestead, pinball gas in the southern tip of Illinois is $4.69 a gallon. Chicken and rabbit feed went up again today from last week. Keep expanding the garden for us and the animals. Yeah, this is it. Guys, when it comes summertime, wintertime, or fall, and you guys are harvesting, and go into the store, and look and go, honey, we harvested 16 tomatoes today. Go to the store and look how much 16 tomatoes would cost you. And you go, holy crap, that'd have been $20. Now that pack of seeds and all that work doesn't seem so expensive. Brenda H, what is the brand of your solar panels again? 12Sevan, TWELSEAVAN. I think somebody asks that on every live stream. Natalie B, do I just put raw potato peels in the garden? No. Okay, you guys got to go back and watch that video I made on how to make fertilizer. You got to let the banana peels, the potato peels, stuff like that, you've got to let them ferment. And you're using the liquid. If you just put the banana peels out there or the potato peels out there, you're asking for rodents to show up. Okay, you just put a buffet out. Unless you bury them, you just put a buffet out there for them. Okay, so you need to let them ferment. Banana peels 3 days to a week, potato peels a week to 2 weeks, and then you're using the liquid in there as a concentrated fertilizer. You can mix it together if you want high potassium, high phosphorus. I went to both of them. But, then you're going to put that into your sprinkling can or, like I showed you the trick for how to do it with a sprinkler, and then dilute it and use it that way. But what you're trying to do is create a liquid fertilizer. You're not just using the potato peels. You need to let that ferment. You're trying to get the good stuff out of it and get rid of the solids. Realist, shelled feed corn rinsed well makes great hominy. There you go. I can't stand hominy, so Cushnet Prepper. How do I plant Cheerios to get donuts? Just make sure you water them with milk. Darlene Carter, if you spread lime out on the ground, will it hurt rabbits, chickens, cats, dogs? It could. I would not let the animals where you have limed until it's all been watered in. Sharon Flaherty, is there any solar big enough to run your well pump? Yes, and I did a video on this. It is the EcoFlow Delta Pro. I need 2 of them, and EcoFlow finally released the second infinity cable yesterday. So I ordered one of those. And then you have to have the smart home panel to do it unless you have it wired directly in. So yeah, yes, I can do it. Yes, I am doing it because I'm going to hook up the whole house on those 2 things, or the majority of it, the water heater and everything, and the well pump and all that sort of stuff. So we've got backup. It ain't cheap. That's the thing. I mean, I'm probably, by the time all said and done that, I'm gonna probably have near 10 grand in that. Moving on along. Whoops. Come on, computer. There we go. Randy Weaver, Ruby Ridge. Okay. Here we go. Shoot to the bottom again. Somebody mentioned weed fertilizer tea. It works great, but very powerful. Need to dilute it. Yes. And funny you say that, because if you guys remember, again, one of the fertilizers I made around last Thanksgiving was showing you how to put weeds and leaves and just let it sit for a while. And Mrs. P was actually using that to water her calla lilies and stuff like that this evening. So yes, diluted. But yes, anything like that. And I've got comfrey growing, and I've got stinging nettle growing, and to make more fertilizer out of that sort of stuff. So yes, anything that I can turn into that's waste and turn it into fertilizer, I'm all for it. Honey Badger's Homestead. I never baked my eggshells, just left to dry, crushed with a masher and used for chickens, slugs, gardens. Yeah, doesn't work for slugs. Chickens love it. Gardens, yeah, it's fine. The only thing, if you washed them out well, you're probably okay. The thing you got to worry about if you don't wash them out and you just let them dry is you could introduce salmonella to the garden. Okay, so you don't want to be doing that. So that's why if you wash out the eggshells really well and let them dry, you should be okay. If you bake them, you know you're going to kill the salmonella. Joe Reiser, can you comment? I'm reading small cap or small lowercase ones because I'm at the bottom here. Can you compost pond algae and grass clippings? Absolutely. Okay. Grass clippings is one of the best things to compost. Great for nitrogen, small pieces, composts quick. Pond algae, again, same thing. You're now going to add some trace minerals from the pond algae that you wouldn't get from your grass clippings. If you got fish in the pond, absolutely, you're going to add other things to it. Both of those, certainly use those for compost. Kit Carlson, I'm getting chickens soon. Silly question. How do you tell if the babies are male or female? First time for chickens. My area doesn't allow roosters. Ask them. I don't know. You got to ask the people that are selling you the chickens. Okay. I don't have chickens either. Let's see. I'm trying to find something here because we are at the end, unless I've shot to the bottom, because there are not a whole lot of caps. Lori Booth, we're on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. In light of the recent threat of an EMP, will the weather radar be affected? Timing 8 weeks would be right in the heart of hurricane season. Of course, the weather radar would be affected. The interesting part of the timing of 8 weeks is that's July 8th, which is the day the Quran says Israel will cease to exist. Okay. Just case in point. Kathleen Logan, I heard human urine spread around your perimeter will keep wild animals away. Is it true? Maybe, because I don't have any animal problems in my garden, and one of the things I fertilize with is urine, but I don't have any animal problems. So again, think of any animal marking its territory. Your male dog, go hitting every tree, every fire hydrant, or whatever it is, marking its territory, leaving a comment, if you will. It's the community chat for dogs. Other dogs go up and smell it there. Okay, well, now you go up and smell a mountain lion there. Maybe, I don't want to be around this place. So there's warnings in there, and maybe the animals smell the human urine and go, I don't want to be around here. I know they'll stay away from dog urine and things like that. Human, I don't know, but I don't have any problems in my gardens. So, and trying to chase my dog around with a cup is not happening. So, Pat Murphy, you're right. After my last dog died, the rabbits, squirrels, and chipmunks had come back with a vengeance. Yeah, exactly. Deadwing, what's my favorite song? Of all time, I got to say it's Thunderstruck by AC/DC. That's got to be my favorite song of all time. Let's see. I'm trying to... April Carey, what's the difference between honeybees and carpenter bees? Carpenter bees are the ones that are damaging. Carpenter bees will drill a little hole into the side of anything wood, like my house, okay? And I'm chasing, we found one hole in the front porch yesterday where they will nest, if you will. Honeybees don't do that. Carpenter bees will destroy a house. hold my beer. But what's happening with Johnny Depp? I don't care. So, Rapture ready. They'll use UN troops against us. Go ahead. Okay. Bring the UN troops in. I don't care. There are a lot more of us than there are UN troops. You're not going to take the UN troops from around the world and bring them into the United States, because even if you took every single one of them, guess what? We still have more guns. Okay. And I don't think pretty much anywhere American citizens are going to be too happy with the UN coming onto our land and telling us what to do. So, yeah, I wouldn't want to be a UN soldier going to the United States. So, and on that note, it's 10 o'clock. So, y'all have a good evening. We'll see you in the morning. Enjoy your Saturday night. Pinball out.